Thank you, Nicholas, for your sharing.
Right.
I just wanted to learn that when was the turning point that you recognized that God's hand is in the business and that you finally managed to pick up and be able to provide for your company and for yourself?
Okay, I remember very clearly after going through all these setbacks and all these hard times, I really wanted to give up. And I was in my room and I just knelt down and I said, God, I really cannot take it anymore. I want to go home. So, if it is not your will that I continue, or if it's your will that I continue, please give me a solution. And within 3 or 4 days, I was actually ready to pack up and go home already. 3 or 4 days, the Christian investor, can I share the name? Can I share the person? Is it okay? I think it's all right. His name is Mr. Lim Hua Min from Philip Bank. He's also one of the elders of Covenant Evangelical, I think. Yeah, Covenant Evangelical. He's also the group CEO of Philip Securities. He happened to be doing some mission trips in Cambodia, and he heard of me, and God just connected. So I met him at a coffee shop, and then he was at a cafe, and then he was like, so young man, tell me about your business. Okay, and then I told him. Then he said, okay, I'm interested in your chicken farm. I said, uncle, don't. You lose money, you invest in chicken farm. Then he said, then what else you have? So I said, I make fertilizer. Yeah. It sounds funny, but after the time, I realized that, I realized the turning point when I really went down on my knees and said, God, I'm surrendering it to you now. You have to give me that answer. If not, I will take it as, I'm just going to walk away because I probably have chosen the wrong path. And God redirected me my path again and created open doors for me again. And when that door opened, I took the step of faith, I went in again. Although I know that I'm getting myself into more trouble now. Okay? Anything that grows bigger and has more things means more problems, more work, more. So again, I took that step of faith and I just keep on entering that door. So I guess that was how I recognized that turning point. But that turning point really required me to say, but it was not immediate, of course. It's those kind of turning point where you actually go down on your knees, you ask God, then He creates a small little hope for you. Then with that little hope, you think, okay, who say that? But actually, it's just the beginning of many other things. Then again, with that little hope, you continue that short journey. Then after that, you go down again, and you need some more hope, and then you just continue to move, right? Yeah. And anyone has anything else? Yes, please.
Sorry, so you mean that Lord's direction for you is in fertilizer business, but originally you didn't know and you went into chicken farm and all those others?
You see, that's what I'm trying to say. See, it's not what you do. It's the... You see, I think the question you're asking me is regarding is the job that you are doing what God wants you to do? I personally don't know. But I know what I'm supposed to be doing within the job itself, which is actually to be that influence, to be that community changer, to be that impact changer. Because a job, regardless what you do, is going to be a job. You see? And how you impact communities, how you impact lives, how you sacrifice yourself for others is regardless of the job that you do. So you ask me, did the Lord ask you to go make fertilizer? I don't know. I don't know. But it seems like this door keeps opening for me and I keep getting myself into shit. You see? So, and more. Yeah, so in that process, I would say that yes, the Lord is using this avenue for me to be an impact, to be the influence, and to make a change in the community. So I would just like to change your perspective to say that, I wouldn't say that, I would like to change your perspective that it's not about the job, it's about what you can do within that job itself. Right? Thank you. Yeah.
Hi,
Yes, sir.
Nicholas. Yeah, I wanted to find out from you, but before that, thanks for sharing. I think you're quite a tough person, and I think God have made you tough, yeah,
Amen.
over the years, yeah.
Yeah.
So, you mentioned that God calls you to Cambodia. I can see that you are very determined, at least for the first many years. So, what is that calling? How can you be so certain of that calling? And then that keeps you going for so many years.
For these 8 years I've been walking this journey, I would say that it has always been that little glimpse of hope and the little revelation that God has always been opening and showing. And that's where I had to say, okay, man, by faith, I'm going to trust God that this is how it's going to happen. And I just continue moving. I did ask myself that question, am I really going to stay in Cambodia for the next 20, 30 years? Then this question actually shouldn't be posted to me. It should be posted to God, you know. It's like, no, God, seriously, you want me to stay 20, 30 years more in Cambodia? But again, it's about obedience, you see. As I do this business and as I walk my life as a Christian with, you know, God's plan in mind, like I said, we can be lost, but we must be lost in the right direction. I don't know, frankly, whether is this going to be my true calling. Because when I started off, I was in Singapore in a finance company. I thought, Jose, that's my job, my career. No, I became a farmer. No, I got myself into more, you know. And then now I'm here being the impact. So what I would say is that in order to walk your journey in life, which many of y'all would have walked more than me already, but as of now, as a 36-year-old, I walked until 36 years in my life. It has been really a journey of trusting the Lord and taking a step at a time. And really about obedience and knowing that it's about sacrificing yourself for others. It's don't expect anything from anybody or don't expect, you know, it's just basically sacrificing yourself for others. And don't bother about the returns. In terms of kind or whatever. But the Lord will bless you in His ways. That's what I'm saying. So to answer your question, I hope that it gives you that idea that for me it has been a journey of faith rather than it was a journey of decisions. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, please.
Just want to be very clear is how you get started, not so much of the process that leads you on.
Oh, yeah. How I got started with farming, is it?
Yep. In the first place, is there a calling for you to drop everything and go to Cambodia?
Okay. Sorry, I didn't get your question. Yeah. I brought a few mission teams up to Cambodia and I looked at Cambodia and I said, hey, there's a lot of farms around. So I've realized, I do my market research, I said, hey, wow, 70% of Cambodians' population are farmers. I thought, good, I'm going to go inside, I'm going to do something. In the process of trying to see what I can do for agriculture, I actually was running a thrift shop, I told you, all right? And I was thinking how to solve all these newspaper and how to recycle all these things. And then again, the idea was put into my mind, and then I started to develop the interest to find out how I can develop products that are natural and yet environmental friendly. And then I went into more research and then I developed this business, okay? And I walked into Cambodia very ignorantly because I really went in thinking that I could do it, I had the experience, but like I shared in the beginning, I failed badly. Because what I think I can do and what the Lord wants me to do is totally different thing. So, but the intent was there, and that's where I believe that's how I got started in the whole agriculture business and how the Lord has actually directed me to go in the right directions and how things have moved eventually. Yeah. So probably for my journey, that's how I got started into this agriculture business. It's really more of like an inspired kind of idea. And then I jump into the river and then I swim for 8 years in the river. And then now I got that out. But I don't know which other big river I'm going to jump in soon. But that's how exciting life as a Christian, as a believer is. Right? Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I think I don't have much time.
Hi, Nicholas. Can you share with us, during those times when you are down and, when things are not going for you, what kind of temptations, what kind of, trials, what kind of things that goes through your mind, and how you come out of it?
There were okay, I think this is a very, this is a very personal and it's very detailed struggle that I did. Let me think a bit first, because I didn't have a very big problem with temptation of women or whatever because I'm in a farm. I didn't have a problem with, I tried drinking rice wine to make myself sleep, but it made me feel worse because it was very bad, I tried to drink myself to sleep. That was part of some of these things that I have tried. And I even thought of things like, okay, since this is an investment, since this is a thing, everything, I just try to cover myself a little bit, sell some of those things that I can sell and then cover myself a little bit and then just tell the investor we lost all the money or something like that. These are the thoughts that actually come into my mind. I'll be very real with you. But I didn't do it, I literally had to, I took very extreme steps, I literally had to hit my head and then go and sleep, that kind of thing, It's like, wake up, that kind of thing, really just trying to distract myself. So I do not know how you solve your own challenges, but this is how I do it. Yeah. Really thank you all for your time,
Yep, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Now, you left for Cambodia when your baby was born,
Yes.
4 months.
Yes.
Boy or girl?
I have one boy, one girl.
Okay, and
Right.
now your children, they miss you, right?
Ye-
So they call you uncle or papa.
They call me Papa. Yes.
And how do you maintain that
You see,
engagement?
the saying goes, behind every successful man, there is a successful woman, Every woman, if you want your husband to feed the family and take care of the family, you better give him a chance to go and do it, So if you don't give him a chance and you want him to take care of the family, then I think it's very difficult, You cannot have the best of both worlds, So my wife, she really created a lot of that kind of environment where the children, where she actually teaches the children to understand why is daddy going out to do and work so hard. And if you are telling, to make money so that he can take care, I tell you my children will hate me. But he's trying to say, daddy is going out so that he can help the poor farmers to grow rice for you to eat. I think it's a very powerful way to develop children's minds, and perspective. And then, of course, I come back. Before that, I used to come back lesser. But after recent years, I started to come back every month for a week. And every time when I'm back with my children, I actually spend a lot of time talking with them, playing with them. I'm sorry, but maybe y'all don't agree with me, but I'm not so much of, you must sit down, study, go for tuition. I'm not that kind, you see. I'm the kind of like, let's go out. I'll bring you to Macritchie Reservoir and catch monitor lizard. That kind of thing. So my wife a bit freak out, my wife is like, you sure or not? And I said, no, come on, let's go. So I bring my children go hiking, and through that, we really created a lot of bonding. And of course, ultimately, we have to pray upon our children to ask the Lord for His blessings and His mercy, that even in the time that we spend so short together, He will create the opportunity and that loving relationship. That's all we can do, because again, it's an overall picture. We have to trust that the Lord is calling us to do our mission. Yeah. So it's like a soldier going out to fight the battles. Right. Thank you.
I think all of us who are in business, we have visions and we have goals given by the Lord.
Right.
Sometimes it's our own preset goals. Now, in going into Cambodia, you have your business goals of hitting certain business targets. Now, as a Christian doing business in a foreign country, what has been the target given by God to impact Cambodia, and when do you know that you have reached this target?
As all investors or all businesses, the first thing you must always be out of the rates. You must be able to make profits, right? So I think in the first thing I made sure that my company was, as soon as possible, we must be in the positive, right? And that was my target that I first tried to achieve, and I achieved that. But I think in that journey along the way, as I was trying to hit my targets, there was more impact created along that journey rather than the final impact of actually being able to sustain the company. But anyway, to answer your question, I guess what I did was I achieved that as a sustainable business first. Then after that, we think of how to become more efficient, how to create more productivity and so forth and so on. And then eventually my plan is to create this company to become an influence in Southeast Asia. Again, as a business, I think many of us have read enough books and have enough people telling us what are the benchmark, what are the yardsticks that we should set for businesses. But a lot of these times, the journey that we walk and what we really need to set our goals is between us and God. It is really a benchmark and a yardstick between ourselves and God. Your benchmark and my benchmark might not be the same. You see? So again, it is, I feel that perhaps, if you feel that, like I shared just now, if you want to go and push yourself to do this, just go ahead and do it. Because that will probably be your next level of upgrading, and that will be your next level of your yardstick that you're supposed to hit. So I hope that, again, we look at it from a different perspective. We don't look at it from a business perspective, but we look at it from a personal development between you and God kind of progress and journey. Yeah.
Shall we take the last two questions?
Thank you, Nicholas, for sharing. It's indeed very inspiring to hear from you. My question to you is really simple.
Thank you.
Do you speak, read, and write Khmer?
I don't read and write. I speak Khmer. Okay. I speak Khmer, yeah, because I'm the only Singaporean in my 60 people staff. So all 60 people speak Khmer. About 7 of us speak English. So they are the guys who do my admin work, the operations and all these things. But day-to-day work, I need to tell my worker how to load lorry, how to drop the fertilizer, the day-to-day work. So it allows me to practice my Khmer. But it took me a while. So again, like these small little things, I think it's very important because you understand the culture, you understand how to speak the language over the years, and finally God will bless you with something that you can handle. Because if you don't have such skills, you don't expect to go to Cambodia and do the business without any of these skills and say that I'm going to succeed. How is that possible? Now I realize it, but before then I say, no, language should not be a barrier. No, it's not true. When they steal your things, or they take your things, in front of you, they're communicating Khmer, you don't even know what they're talking. Later we're going to take the car battery and sell. And then you just, yeah. So yes, I speak Khmer.
You started saying that what you venture into is not for somebody who is post-retired and wanting to be a farmer, right?
Right.
Okay. If my question is too long to answer or not relevant here, just tell me privately.
No problem.
I'm very interested in farming in Singapore.
Right.
I'm very interested in sustainable kind of farming.
Right.
I dabbled with it for a while, but I I mean, it's very difficult in Singapore. We have so little land. What do you suggest?
I think firstly, I think there's a difference between gardening and farming. Okay. Yeah, because I think what we have in Singapore is more like what we call edible garden. Edible garden, I think it's a good term to use. When you're talking about commercial farming, what I'm saying is so exhausting is really because when you want to make profits, it's really by the cents. You see, I sell one vegetable, I earn 20 cents. You know how many kilos and tons of vegetable to make $200? You know what I mean? Vegetable is few grams only. You know what I mean? So these are the things that is a little bit different. What you are saying is that is it possible? What are your suggestions that if you are interested to do farming in Singapore, what are the possibilities? Right? Sorry.
Okay, I'm not talking about farming. I'm talking about, there are a lot of community groups,
right.
community farming, and the government is releasing more and more little plots to people who are interested. And actually, I can tell that for a small family, you don't need a very big piece of land to grow enough for yourself.
Sure.
And you can have organic food, fresh vegetables that are so good. But I can't seem to see any solution here. I'm looking for someone who can, probably see something in Singapore. Maybe this question is not directed at the right persons.
No. I understand your intent, but we know that. I also know that there are actually many small little groups that are actually arranging what we call collectives, where they actually all grow little products and then they come together, they put together, and then they give or they sell to in their so-called farm village, where Sundays, flea market, farmers market and something like that on the weekend. I think it's already starting. For Singapore, my strategy, I feel, is very different. Number one, I think to educate the young people that, look, if you want to do farming as a business, it is possible. You just need to be willing to go all out and work hard for that business. Number one, is possible. Number two is we share with them the possibilities of looking on a broader perspective into out of Singapore. Because it doesn't mean that you need to farm in Singapore. It can also mean you farm in Batam and take a boat over. Because once you have left Singapore, you realize that the world is a playground. You really can do tons of things. So what I suggested to some of the urban farmers groups that they actually spoke to me, I said, why not you all try growing vegetables within your own balconies and your own corridors? And then you all, as a community, have a weekly or monthly gathering downstairs your void deck, and then you just share the vegetables among each other and exchange, you see? Because that's about the best you can do for urban farming. And again, you see, I told you, it's not about what you do, you see. It's like that opportunity. Wow, I can get the whole resident, everybody come down together, and exchange vegetables. That's where you have the influence again, you see. That's where, you're going to be sharing with them and say, look, why are you doing this? I believe that the world might end one day. I don't know what your, yeah.
Thank you, Nicholas.
Thank you very much.
This is truly an inspiring message. I'm not sure anybody wants to ask God to give you the same purpose as what He has for Nicholas. But anyway, I hope that everybody will go away tonight with a fresh injection of faith. And I pray that God will reveal to you the purpose He has for you. Nicholas, can we close this meeting by inviting you to do a prayer for us?
Okay, maybe we just bow our heads and close our eyes. And we just take these few moments to digest perhaps some of the thoughts that you have been putting into your mind and the Lord has been stirring in your heart. In regards to perhaps, taking greater challenges, stepping out into the wilderness. I think we have heard a lot and we have heard too much sometimes, and we just feel that, perhaps we are exhausted with what we are doing, but now perhaps this is a session, this is a time where we actually take the step of faith and just walk out into the wilderness. Father Lord, I just want to thank you that you have given every one of us an opportunity to be here, to hear and to sense what you have intended to share and put into our hearts. Perhaps we don't know it clear at this point in time, but Lord, for sure we know that you have a greater purpose in our lives. And this purpose that you have in our life, Lord, we know that we have to trust and have faith in you to know that you will lead us to our end goal. The journey can be treacherous, the journey can be tough, but we know, Lord, that we trust in you. We will be able to stand up on our 2 feet, even though when we fall. Father, I just pray an anointing and a blessing upon each and every one in this room today. I pray, Lord, that you will open up doors, Lord, and you will show us greater things that you have plans for us, that we might go out into this world to be the light that will shine for you, to give hope to the people that thinks that this world is nothing but hopelessness. So, Father, once again, we ask, Lord, for your grace and your mercy, that even as we proceed out of this place, you will continue to inspire us with dreams and visions that your heart has intended for us. We thank you, Lord Jesus. In your name we pray. Amen.